In 2020, I decided during COVID that after my family went through a mental health crisis, that I needed to do something to not only help my children's mental health, but to help myself, to help my own mental health journey, to help myself to heal from trauma. So in 2020, I started writing poetry. I didn't think that my poetry would come of anything, I wrote one poem thinking it was just a silly poem, and that was basically it. That one poem went on to be selected in several journals, poetry journals, and then in 2022 it won an award, Elite Writer Status of 2022 in this same journal, which was very exciting. And between writing the poem and obviously it continues to getting published, I continued to write, and I decided that I would write a poetry book. I had never written before. I struggled in school. I didn't pass any exams in school due to the trauma, due to what was going on for me. And in 2024, I released my very first book, Through the Eyes of a Trauma Child. And it is basically my story, my whole life in this book of poetry. I'm not reading any because I struggle to read my own poetry, but it is available on Amazon. All of my books are. But during the process of writing this book, I also started writing my second book, which would then obviously be released the same year in 2024. And here we have my second book. This at the time was the best book I couldn't have written anything different, anything better, because it was all mental health, and for me to learn to heal and cope with the trauma based poetry, I had to write the mental health stuff to help me to navigate my own feelings. So that was also released in 2024. But I couldn't stop. I could not stop writing my poetry. I kept writing, and I can't tell you how many poems I wrote, because I did lose a lot of poems. I'm going to say 1,000 poems, but I know it's massively more than that. And then I just continued, but because I'd written two pretty hard books, I decided again to continue writing. So while my second book was in the process of being published, my first one had already been published, I started writing my third book, Capturing Hearts. This is actually, I think it's quite a sweet book. It's just nice poetry in there. There's nothing heavy. There's the odd hint of mental health, but as a whole, it has some lovely words in. And I'm not very confident in saying that I have created something beautiful, but I have created something beautiful. And the reason for that book is because I'd written something like two other books that was hard, so I needed something a bit light-hearted, a bit different, but still poetry. Then I decided to look at something completely different. I didn't know what, but then it suddenly came to me that a children's book, something simple but something unique, and here it is. It was released on Boxing Day 2024. And here is my children's book. My daughter also, she did the illustrations for this book, so it makes it extra special because it was a joint effort. I just did the writing, which wasn't a lot, and my daughter did the hard work, which was the illustrations. Yeah, there's lots of, you know, different drawings in there. You know, she is an amazing artist. But yeah, that was probably my favourite book because it is obviously for children. But yeah, so that was Unboxing Day. And then I get to my last book, which I'd already planned this book in 2023. I'd already had the title mapped out. I knew what I wanted to do, but Amazon would not allow me to publish it because it was too small. I needed, I don't know, 30, I think it was something like 37 pages or something like that. Or no, it was 72 pages, something like that, to publish this book. And I decided to go hardback because I hadn't done a hardback and I wanted to see what it would be like. And this was released, this was actually released only a couple of months ago. I think it was April. And it's actually supposed to be released at the end of the year, but I was a little bit impatient. Here it is for December. So yes, and it is basically, you know, seasonal mental health. So it's all poetry, very short poetry, I think. Very short poetry, quotes in there, and it's for every day of December. So there's 31 poems, and then obviously in between I've got like my little quotes. Because I, for one, struggle hugely around Christmas, but particularly New Year's Eve is my biggest struggle in December. But because I struggle throughout December, I gathered there'd be lots and lots of other people who will also struggle with their mental health in December. So yes, and there are my 5 books, all available on Amazon. So yes, and this is my first proper video. I don't know if I'm uploading it to TikTok, but we shall see. But that is all for now. Thank you.